President Obama makes a visit to Yosemite, his message to park goers, and his biggest concern for the future of our national parks. And a neighborhood on alert after a bizarre home invasion. What police say those robbers were wearing when they broke into a home. Plus, Costco members, if that's you, listen up. How a 16-year relationship coming to an end will affect you.
Our weather may be great right now, but just wait, it's about to change. It's going to get hot, folks, and I'll have that forecast for you in a moment. But first, ABC 10 News starts next.
This is ABC 10 News at 5.
Report that captures the wonder of the world, that changes you by day.
Isn't that a beautiful backdrop? President Obama and his family are in Yosemite for Father's Day weekend amid the backdrop of a now roaring Yosemite Falls. He says he wants more Americans to visit our national parks. The last president to visit that national park, JFK, more than 50 years ago. And today, President Obama pointed to some of the things his administration has done to protect the national park system. And ahead of the national park's 100th birthday in August, he says climate change remains the biggest threat to more than 400 sites across our country.
The biggest challenge we're going to face in protecting this place and places like it is climate change. Make no mistake, climate change is no longer just a threat. It's already reality.
And as the nation's fourth busiest park, a presidential visit also meant a few traffic backups. The president and his family head back to D.C. tomorrow night. Other top stories we're following for you this evening. Turlock police have arrested this man and a 17-year-old teenage girl in connection to a home invasion robbery Friday morning. Turlock police say the robbery happened at a home along Boxwood Way near Linwood Avenue. Police believe the robbers were actually wearing police-type clothing, which is frightening, and that a third suspect was involved. No one was injured, and police say people should call 911 if they believe they are being contacted by someone who is impersonating a police officer. And remember, you can always ask to check that official ID of a police officer. We're monitoring multiple wildfires tonight across our state. In Southern California, the Sherpa fire has more than doubled in size to nearly 7,500 acres. That fire broke out Wednesday afternoon in Los Padres National Forest, about 30 miles northwest of Santa Barbara. Hot, windy weather and steep hills have made battling that blaze difficult. It's also in a very remote area, and so far only crops and ranch land have been damaged. Right now, the fire is 45% contained. Meanwhile, firefighters continue to battle a wildfire in Amador County. The Comanche fire started Friday afternoon south of Ione near the community of Buena Vista. That fire now sits at 210 acres and is 85% contained. No homes have been damaged, but 3 outbuildings were destroyed. Fire officials say the blaze is mostly burning grass and brush there. And of course, now it's time to bring in Harry Stockman, who is our weather expert. At least for today, right? Every day, right,
Every day,
Harry?
sure.
And it
Anytime you want.
There we go. It is that time of year where fire is a concern.
Yeah, the fire danger, of course, obviously is high, especially in Southern California where they didn't get as much rain as we did. And they had strong winds down at that Santa Barbara fire coming down some of the canyons in the mountains up there. Gusts, a couple of nights ago up to 30, 40, even 50 miles an hour at times, feeding that fire. Now, last night, those winds died down a little bit, and that helped the firefighters catch up just a bit as well. But it's not a very good situation. Let's take a look and see how our weather is right now. It is beautiful out there over downtown Sacramento. The temperature is just about perfect at 79 degrees. But look at the wind, northwest at about 12 miles an hour. Things are dry in Northern California, even though we had a better year this year. And with that wind, that makes it a little bit tough for firefighters. Now we're looking at a low of 58 tomorrow morning and a high temperature tomorrow, a little bit warmer, 93 degrees. And tomorrow will be the precursor to a much, much hotter week. And I'll have the details on that in just a few moments.
Thanks, Harry. New tonight, firefighters in San Francisco battled a 5-alarm fire. You can see a lot of smoke rising from a tower camera there, and firefighters in the distance are off working to put out that blaze in the Mission. In all, 8 buildings caught fire. Several buildings were evacuated, and residents within a 2-block radius are asked to take shelter. And turning to the latest now on the Orlando nightclub shooting.
Amazing grace, how sweet
Nearly 1 week after that shooting, victims whose lives ended at Pulse nightclub were laid to rest. Thousands across the country paying their respects to Christopher Lyonen. The 32-year-old and his boyfriend Juan Ramon Guerrero were among the 49 people killed Sunday. The couple had plans to get married. And at the funeral of Corey Connell, family talked about how much he will be missed.
Size didn't matter when it came to Corey. He would take on the world without even blinking once.
At Orlando City Hall, a memorial is growing where there are dozens of wreaths decorated with the faces of each victim. Meanwhile, investigators have recovered video from security cameras at the nightclub. And this weekend, pride parades all across the country went on as planned under increased security. From Denver to Chicago to Columbus, Ohio, bags were checked and extra officers patrolled on foot. In Columbus, about 500,000 people are expected to attend pride events, and police say people should enjoy the weekend and not cave into fear because of what happened in Orlando.
It's in the back of everyone's mind, and I encourage everyone, don't let that stop you from coming down. We can't, as a community, cower, and we have to come out and celebrate the weekend. And, we are committed to making this the safest Pride Columbus has ever seen.
Festival organizers say not one vendor or group pulled out of that event because they were concerned over safety. And last night in St. Petersburg, it was a rare sellout crowd for Pride Night at the Rays Giants game. Rays players wore throwback Orlando Rays hats, their former minor league affiliate, and both the Giants and Rays players wore an Orlando patch on their jerseys. And you can see fans there even wearing those We Are Orlando t-shirts. This, of course, was all to remember those shooting victims. Fans bought those t-shirts as well, raising $300,000 to help the victims' families. And in California, there's already efforts underway to help curb gun violence. This week, lawmakers included $5 million in their final budget plan towards a gun violence research center. It would be located on a UC campus, and proponents say it will provide much-needed data on how effective existing gun laws are. But gun rights activists say it will produce biased information.
You have to do unbiased research. You do your unbiased research and let it stand for itself. If that were the case, if this were something that actually did that, we wouldn't have a problem with it. But that's not what it does.
The proposal was one of the trailer bills included in the new state budget approved Wednesday. That money will help fund the Gun Violence Center over the first 5 years. In November, it will be up to voters whether to abolish the death penalty here in California. Backers of the initiative gathered enough signatures for it to qualify for the November ballot. Now, if approved, the most serious punishment would then be life in prison without the possibility of parole. Right now, there are 743 inmates on death row. And out of some other headlines from around the state, in Oakland, another police chief has stepped down. Paul Figueroa lasted 2 days on the job and is the third chief now to be replaced over the past 10 days. It all comes as the department is facing allegations that a number of officers had sex with a teenage prostitute. These are allegations the city's mayor has called disgusting.
As the mayor of Oakland, I am here to run a police department, not a frat house.
2 officers have resigned and 3 others remain on paid leave. The city administrator is now in charge of the police department, and they, of course, are now searching for another new police chief there. And there's new drama in the race for the White House. What Donald Trump is saying is needed to stop more mass shootings from happening. And Costco members, listen to this, some changes you'll want to know about that start tomorrow. In your voice, your vote, new drama in the race to the White House. ABC's Mary Bruce is in Phoenix, where Donald Trump has his own solution: more guns to stop more mass shootings.
Donald Trump taking his message about guns and the Orlando massacre on the campaign trail.
If you think Orlando was the end of it with this weak attitude and this pathetic president that we have, it's not guns. It's terrorism.
In the wake of the nightclub shooting that killed 49 innocents, Trump is now arguing the key to stopping more attacks is more guns.
If we had people where the bullets were going in the opposite direction, right smack between the eyes of this maniac.
There was an armed security guard at the club that night who traded gunfire with the suspect near the entrance to the club. The gun control debate now taking center stage in the race for the White House.
Not one of Donald Trump's reckless ideas would have saved a single life in Orlando.
Hillary Clinton calling out her Republican rival, even as she celebrates the birth of her second grandchild, retweeting daughter Chelsea, who said the family is overwhelmed with gratitude and love for Aiden Clinton Mezvinsky. Trump is also facing more backlash, both from protests like this one.
It's our duty to come out.
Demonstrators in Phoenix using floats and costumes to condemn his policies. And from his own party, some Republican delegates now plotting to stop Trump from gaining the nomination at the convention next month.
It's meaningless. First of all, it's illegal. Second of all, you can't do it.
Trump promising his supporters that won't happen. Mary Bruce, ABC News, Phoenix.
And turning to real money, Costco members, listen up. Starting Monday, Costco is switching from American Express to Citi Visa, ending a 16-year relationship. So what that means is for the more than 81 million members who use credit cards at Costco, it's a pretty big deal. And here's what you need to know. The last day you can use your American Express at Costco is Sunday. Most members should have already gotten that new Citi Visa card, so you will not have to reapply as long as you found it in the mail, which is sometimes hard to do. And don't worry about any leftover rewards. Everything from your American Express will transfer over. And with that said, all other non-Visa credit cards won't work. Only Visa, cash, check, or debit cards will now be accepted at Costco's starting this coming Monday. And moving now to the Women's Premier Soccer League. They are playing in Sacramento tonight. ABC 10's Frances Wang is live from Bonnie Field. And Frances, we hear a big name is in town.
Yeah, Emily, former midfielders for both the U.S. women's national team and for Brazil's women's national team are here today. Brandy Chastain and Cece are suited up behind me. They're in the blue jerseys playing for the California Storm. Now, this match is between semi-pro teams California Storm and Primero de Mayo. It was free for people who actually already had tickets to tonight's Sac Republic game. One fan told me, though, she did expect the crowds to be much bigger, but that doesn't change how excited she is, especially to meet some of her favorite players.
I got this jersey after the '99 World Cup, supporting the women's soccer since that time when they won it and put us on the map. So again, I'm a huge Brandy Chastain fan and out here wearing my jersey to support women's soccer.
And although disappointed with today's turnout, Diana hopes in the future there will be more support, more publicity, and more opportunities to watch women's games here in Sacramento, and hopefully more female soccer stars coming out to Sacramento as well. And Emily, this is the first time that Republic FC and Bonniefield hosted a women's match. There's going to be a Q&A after this game on the field, and some lucky fans will get photos with the guests tonight. The Sac Republic game starts at 8. Emily, back to you.
Very cool. And for those fans who are so passionate, it's always great to see someone you've looked up to for a long time. I know many of us can remember that 99 moment of that victory on the field. So great to see everyone out there, and hopefully it turns out to be a great night for Sac Republic too. Thanks, Frances. And Sprouts is hiring. The grocery store chain opened a new store in Roseville on Wednesday, part of an expansion in Northern California. Sprouts is looking for all positions, including managers, and pay starts at minimum wage. If you are interested, the store says you can show up at any store on June 21st, which is this upcoming Tuesday, for an on-the-spot interview. Applicants should remember to bring IDs and also resumes. And we want to remind you about our effort to help veterans. Now through the 4th of July, we're partnering with Bonnie Plumbing, Heating and Air and the Honor Group to provide service dogs to vets in need. Your donations will go towards the cost of the dogs, which help vets with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injuries. The link, you can find that on our website, abc10.com. And at the Sacramento Convention Center, hundreds are embracing their inner geek. I want to go. From Star Wars to X-Men to every character imaginable, the fun at this year's Wizard World Comic-Con.
Looks like lots of fun. Well, it won't be chilly tonight. It's actually rather nice out there, but it might be hot tamale. Oh, did I say that? I'll have your forecast next.
Happening today for all the comic fans out there, it is time to let that inner geek out at Wizard World Comic-Con, happening right here in Sacramento this weekend at the Convention Center. Everything from video games, Star Wars, X-Men, to pretty much any character you can imagine is there. And one woman says she got into comics because of her kids.
I'm a total geek. And then my kids, as they were starting to grow up, got into Harry Potter, so we started doing Harry Potter things, and one thing just kind of led to another.
And do you recognize this character? It's Maz Kanata from Star Wars. Tonight, a special guest is expected, none other than William Shatner, Captain Kirk himself. Who doesn't want to see that? The event runs through tomorrow. Harry is standing by. I thought they were going to say maybe Harry Stockman was there.
Yeah, didn't you see me there? Predator.
Yeah.
With the blue hair, though, rather than green. Couldn't find green.
You can claim that you were there even if you weren't due to all the masks.
There you go. Beautiful weather today. Absolutely lovely. The temperature is 79 right now in Sacramento. A little bit of a breeze northwest at 12, but it's that breeze in the low pressure area that passed us by yesterday that kept the temperatures rather cool the last several days. That low, though, is headed up north along with the rain, and we're going to get a lot warmer here in a couple of days. Let's take a look and see what's happening. We're looking for a low of 58, high tomorrow 93, so we're going to warm it up a few degrees tomorrow. Then we're going to warm it up further on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be maybe the hottest day of the week. Temperatures should get up to about 100 degrees, but right now it is beautiful. Look at that. 79 here, 80s throughout most of the valley, 81 in Fairfield, 71 in San Francisco, 66 up at Lake Tahoe, 64 at Truckee. It is an absolutely lovely day. Enjoy it. This evening is going to be delightful. The wind's a little bit breezy up and down the valley, but not too bad. That wind is our natural air conditioner at work, keeping the temperatures down a bit. And summer begins on Monday, on June 20th at 3:34 p.m. officially. And this week, it will feel like summer, no question of that. We have a great shot to show you of a rainbow around the sun. When you get ice crystals up there in those clouds, you get a refraction, just like you do through a prism. When the light shines through it, you can get a rainbow. This one going all the way around the sun. Thank you for that. If you have a great weather picture, send it into weather for us at abc10.com. We'd love to put your picture on the air. Here are the high temperatures expected tomorrow. It's been hot throughout the rest of the country. We've been cool, but that hot air is beginning to back up a little bit. It's headed our way. It's going to warm us up to 93 tomorrow. And then on Monday, might be a little early for that 101, but the hot weather is coming. In fact, tomorrow in Phoenix is going to be 120 and Monday 117 degrees. We're talking about some pretty hot weather here. Notice a big change here. Notice the precip. Yesterday it was right over northwestern California. We even had a few sprinkles here last night in Sacramento, but that has moved all the way up into Canada and Montana, Washington getting some precip. High pressure building in, and with that we're going to shut off the air conditioner and we're going to heat it up over the next few days. And getting into the 90s tomorrow. Still not too bad, but it's going to be pretty warm here. Foothills, 80s and low 90s tomorrow. 70s up at Lake Tahoe, and the extended forecast for the Sierra Nevada for Tahoe, 73, 78, 79, and 80 on Wednesday. Along the coast, we expect 70s in San Francisco and Santa Cruz, warming up as you come inland into the low to mid 90s in the San Joaquin Valley, low to mid 90s in the Sacramento Valley tomorrow. And then the extended forecasts, I'm closing my eyes because I don't want to look.
Well, that's not very nice.
No, 100 Tuesday, 101 Wednesday, 103 Thursday. If you like hot weather, and some do like it hot, you will find this week is for you. But if you want to keep cool, well,
escape to the mountains.
Yeah, the mountains would be perfect.
That would be great advice. Well, it'll be an interesting week ahead, and we'll all have to be careful out there, drink a lot of water, and take care of ourselves.
Exactly, and make sure that you're, just hydrated and keep cool during that heat wave.
Great. Thanks, Harry. And today in Elk Grove, NASCAR fans got quite the treat. We'll learn about a Wilton native who is joining the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series field. But first, what's ahead on World News Tonight?
Hi, Emily. Coming up on World News Tonight, triple-digit heat and wildfires burning in 8 states. We are live on the fire lines there in California. Also today, emotional goodbyes in Orlando. And now gay pride parades on high alert all across the country. Plus, Donald Trump's tough talk about the massacre. It's coming up after ABC 10 News at 5.
As we wrap up ABC 10 News at 5 tonight, NASCAR fans got quite a treat in Elk Grove today. Dylan Lupton is a hometown boy from Wilton and is quickly becoming a NASCAR superstar. The 22-year-old found his passion on a dirt bike at the age of 6 and quickly turned his eye to professional racing, because that sounds like a lot more fun, right? Next week, he is making his NASCAR Sprint Cup debut.
That's everyone's dream, is when they step in a race car to make it a cup one day. And, this is my opportunity, so I have to take advantage of it and go out there and prove myself as a good driver that's able to compete in this series weekly.
Very cool. I know Harry and I will be rooting for him, right?
Yes, and we won't be out on the track.
No, we will be here. But Lupton will make his debut next Sunday in the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma Raceway. So very exciting, and it's great to have someone from here locally and get to support them.
Pretty courageous, too. I mean, I sometimes when I'm driving on the freeway think, well, I'm a good driver. I could do that, right? But
Until you got on a track?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not the same.
No.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight for ABC 10 News at 5. We'll be back tonight at 6. Hope you're having a great Saturday.